just knowing that they're all accepting people is great, but there needs to be more acceptance, and it can't just be based on, as a lot of people usually say, like, oh, like I know someone, so now I become more accepting. It's like it shouldn't take for you to have a family member or a close friend to change the way that you think about queer people. My name's Drew Mason. 30 years old, and I've been involved in ice hockey in a professional capacity for the last 8 years. I've worked for a couple NHL, couple of teams, NHL, HL, Division One, Division Three. I've worked for the Blue Jackets, the Cleveland Monsters when they won the Calder Cup, Niagara University, Hobart College, and most recently with the Ohio State Women's University ice hockey team. I recently also just came out to my parents about 4 months ago this weekend. So it's very different times for me as I'm going through all that. But I've done a number of different roles in hockey, including video with the college teams, director of ops, booking all the travel and all the food. So a lot of fun stuff in hockey, but also a lot of good personal stuff the last couple months.
Well, congratulations on coming out. It's always lovely to, see somebody living their truth and as their authentic self. So congratulations. And what an incredible hockey resume. That's really cool.
Yeah.
How did Drew get into hockey?
I've always been around hockey forever. My dad played growing up. He played in college at Hobart actually as well. My brother played, and he's 4 years older than me. So I've always been around hockey. My dad coached both my brother and myself. So hockey's always been a thing for me. Always would go down to the Flyers games down at, all the name changes, currently Wells Fargo Center. Go to a lot of Sabres games. My mom's originally from Buffalo. Then addition, also with the connection to Hobart, I've been to a lot of college games as well. So I've always been around hockey between club, between high school, college, professional, every level, every realm you could think of. I've always just been around it, and that's how I got into it. And I've loved every second of being in it.
Very cool. What do you love about hockey?
Just that feeling of getting out on the ice in particular, putting on the skates and grabbing the sticks and gloves and just shooting the puck. Can't really beat much more than that. Would definitely be the best. But then just all the different people that you meet from hockey. There's not very avenues in life where you can be someone from Philadelphia and meet people from across the country, from Canada, from Sweden, Finland, Czech Republic, any country and every country. And that's what's been great about this, meeting so many people too who all enjoy just playing hockey and everything about it.
Yeah, there's a commonality which creates a community, right? And it's a really cool feeling, and it's like a bond that people create. Based off your intersection of identity, how could hockey be better for you, and how could it be better for the queer community?
I think in general, how it can be better is really just, for me, has always just been the jokes and the comments that you always hear, the homophobic comments and jokes that you always hear, and saying like, oh, like you're gay, you're a fag, whatever, and without people knowing if they actually are or not. Just hearing those jokes and seeing them, it's particularly, you see it more on the men's side, from my experience, but again, just those types of jokes have just never made me comfortable enough to come out before now. Always afraid of what will everyone think and say and do. But at the same time, I can see it getting better too. There is a lot of great people. One of the first people I came out to was one of the assistant coaches at Niagara the year after I left and came to Ohio State. Andy Boschetto, like when I told him, he's like, I knew, but I wanted you to feel comfortable enough to tell me, which was just amazing to hear. And gave me the confidence to eventually come out to my parents a couple months ago. So just knowing that they're all accepting people is great, but there just needs to be more acceptance, and it can't just be based on, as a lot of people usually say, like, oh, like I know someone, so now I become more accepting. It's like it shouldn't take for you to have a family member or a close friend to change the way that you think about queer people. You like we're all people. You should accept them for who they are, no matter no matter how many degrees of closeness you are to them.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. We shouldn't have to humanize our identity for people, and sadly that's still where we're at in society and in hockey culture in particular, if we're breaking it down. So I think it'd be lovely to get to the point that we don't have to humanize or justify our existence. Knowing all this, what keeps you in hockey?
Just the love of it, just being able to go out there. I played a myriad of different sports: soccer, lacrosse, baseball, hockey. Never played football, but and very briefly in baseball. But hockey has been by far my favorite sport, and it hasn't even been close. So, and just the joy of being able to go out there, and most recently just being able to do it professionally has been great. One of my all-time favorite moments was winning the Calder Cup in Cleveland and getting to experience that and standing on the ice in front of almost 20,000 people with the team and everything will be one of the greatest moments of my life by far. There's nothing that can really compare to it, or I think that will ever compare to it really. But just being able to have experiences like that is just incredible. Winning the first WCHA championship of Ohio State last year, and right before COVID shut down the world, that was amazing to see for a 20-year program to get their first conference championship. To have those experiences is just phenomenal, and being able to travel to all these different cities and states and countries has been incredible, because it gave me experiences that I never would have been able to do if I wasn't in hockey.
Yeah, no, that's it's incredible, and their experiences you'll have forever, and that's such a lovely feeling. You know what I mean? Like you can always look back and you have those good moments in the sport, and you can carry those. And in looking at the good moments from the past, I want to look at how we can create good moments in the future. So what gives you hope for queer people in the sport?
It's going to take everyone, but particularly, like, it's great to see, like, Colin Nassib from Las Vegas coming out. You're going to need those almost watershed moments to help people come out and see that there is a lot more queer people than that they might think. And also it will come down to also allies in the sport, like the friends I've made, like what Brian Burke is doing with You Can Play, and in honor of Brendan. It's gonna take everyone, from whether they're straight or queer. It's both are gonna have to work, but right now the allies are gonna have to really step up, and actions are gonna have to back up what they say. It's great that there's hockey for everyone. It's great that there's Pride nights, but at some point, those actions need to be said rather than just painting everything rainbow. So, but again, 20 years ago, I think overall hockey's in a lot better spot than it is. It's a lot better spot now than it was then, but it's still a struggle in a lot of ways. But it is hopeful as more and more people are more accepting, and as more and more people also stand up and say who they are, it makes everything better.
And I think having people, for me, like all these interviews, but also having people who work in the sport who are queer and who are sharing who they are. So people like you. So I want to thank you for coming out. I want to thank you for sharing who you are and sharing with us. I really appreciate it. And thank you.
Thank you, Brock, for all you've done. I really appreciate it, because you definitely have given me the courage the last couple of years, reading your stories and every time you speak, and all that you do for the sport.